Dearly beloved, we have gathered here to get through this thing called life. Life, L.Y.F, stands for Love Yourself First. And I am here with Miss Tina Fobbs. Hello, Miss Tina Fobbs.
Hey.
She's an author, producer, creator of PHyre Hair Company, and she's also a wellness advocate. Those are a lot of titles, girl.
Yes.
Those are a lot of titles. So me and Tina, we used to be interns at Radio One back in the day, but you were on the business side, right? You weren't like on the on-air production side, were you?
Well, actually, I started off in the marketing side, and then I went to the on-air production side, and then went back to marketing. And then they called me for the job, weekend job or something like that?
For on promotions? Air. Oh, on air. Okay.
Yeah. And then I got pregnant.
The little miracles in life, right?
While it lasted.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's all fun from here because I mean, like I said, these are a lot of titles. This is a lot going on. So I mean, clearly that didn't stop the show at all, right?
I think radio opened the door for everything, because that's when I sort of found out that radio wasn't really for me. Like I didn't like when they were like, okay, now it's time to host parties. Like, I can't host a party. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want someone else do that. So it just made me realize that, you know, radio might not be my thing, or something else maybe within it. And that introduced me to an array of other things. But at the same time, I'm really like close to a lot of the people that I met there, like you and Lonnie B and Brian. So Brian Robertson is the person who gave me my internship. So, and we still work together. So it's been pretty awesome.
That is awesome. And like one thing I know about you, when you foster friendships and relationships, like they seem to last forever. So that's great.
Absolutely.
That's great. I'm thankful for it, but you know.
I'd like to stay close to people because those are the good people. They bring out the best in you. So I like to keep them out.
Exactly. I completely understand that. So let's talk about your hair company. Like, how exactly do you get started on creating hair products? You know, like I picture like a witch's brew or something going on.
Yeah. Well, for me, so I'll have to send you like pictures of it, because no one ever, like, they don't remember that. And I'm like, you probably don't remember it because I didn't like to post a lot of pictures during that time. But after I got pregnant with not my first child, after my first child, I was completely fine. But after my second child, during and after, I lost like all my hair, like, and it was bad. And I was young. I was like, what, 28, 7, something like that. I don't know how old I was. I was still in my 20s, but I was losing all that. And, you know, they have all these hair, you know, Black owned hair care products and all these other hair care products, and all these oils, these magic oils and all that stuff. And I'm just like, okay, these will work. And none of them really did it for me. And so what I ended up having to do, I had to talk to like real hair professionals, and I had to end up looking at the ingredients that were in these things and just seeing why just, what is it called, like castor oil or whatever oil is not just the thing for me. I have to see what mixtures I can use. So that's what led me to buying someone else's product, looking at the ingredients, and it's not just one person, but multiple people's products, looking at the ingredients, seeing what worked for me and what didn't, putting those together, talking to real hair care professionals and saying, hey, what does this do? What does this do? But what if I want to do that? That's how I was introduced to neem oil, which is one of the things that makes your hair grow really fast. It's really good for your hair. And so that's why I put it into my products. So I didn't see that at all anywhere. So that's why I was like, I'm going to use that. But I used it for myself. That's why I started making it. I used it for myself, and I had no intention at all of starting a hair care line, because this was back in 2014. So now you saw it was only last year that I launched everything. Right. So I was in my own career as a publicist. So I was concentrating on other people's brand and not my own. So, but that was the beginning of it. It was just using it myself and, you know, giving it to other family members and friends here and there, and them loving it. And that's what started it all.
So your family members and friends were the ones that say, oh, you need to market this, you need to put this out there, or was
Well,
it your husband?
they were more, no, that wasn't it at all. They were
Oh,
more
okay.
they loved it and everything. Everybody loved it, and I put it out there. I sold it here and there, but it wasn't really. I didn't have a price set for it. I was just like, all right, give me $10, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what really pushed me to launch it was the fact that I was so like drowned by my career as a publicist and everybody else's brand, and then not being able to build some of their brands the way that I wanted to, because at the end of the day, I was contracted under someone else's company, so you have to go by their rules. And to me, I was like, I don't think that this is right for this person, and that's why I'm actually still close to some of those past clients now, because I'm like, I told them myself, like, I want to do this, but I can't do this. I think you should do that. And they ended up doing what I suggested, after the fact. And they were like, you were right. And so that's why I'm still very close to some of those people. But what made me really push my own self was that I had to say, okay, I love doing public relations, but there's parts of it that I don't like. And I know that I'm good at building a brand because I've done it for multiple people. I need to focus on myself, and and I also said I need to, get more involved in my husband's company, which is a TV and film production company. And so that's what sort of pushed me, like, okay, you've been doing this for several years now. Okay, you've done what you're going to do. What's next? And that's why I just looked at that. I looked at the oil bottle, and I I thought about shampoos and conditioners, but I didn't know how to go about it. And that's when a friend of mine, her name is Bella. She has a hair care line. She's been in this for like, it has to be like 15 years now. And like without her, I would have been completely lost. But I found a manufacturer, and I was able to say, I wanted this to do that, that, and that. And I don't want these types of ingredients in it. And I don't want this. And it took a lot. I had to go through a lot of, trial and error and using it on myself and people with other hair types, to make sure that it worked for different people, not just people with curly hair, whatever, or, coarse hair, whatever. It took a lot of trial and error, but I finally got two shampoos and conditioners that I liked. And that's when I was like, okay, I got to do this. And it's even after that, it still took me like a year to be like, okay, all right, I'm really gonna quit this year. Like, and I didn't give a 2-week notice. I gave like a 2-month notice. Like, okay, I just
Oh.
want to let you know that I'm gonna do this. So it took a lot. It wasn't easy.
Oh, you're so nice. Like 2 months, because
Yeah.
leave it to me. I'd be like, I quit. Look,
Yes, like,
I'm
just leave.
done.
I was like, I can't do it.
No, I understand. You have that safety net, you have that comfort zone, like every day, pretty much like what your day entails. But when you go off on your own, I mean, it has to be like a kind of a scary situation, because everything depends on how, your customer's response, to what's going on, but I'm proud of you. Like that's super brave.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So what products do you have right now? Like what do they do? I mean,
I
aside from
have
the shampoo and conditioner, like we know what that does.
Yeah. So I have the hair growth oil. I have two of them, but I'm taking one away. My daughter just came in, so I don't know what's gonna happen. The Day 7 oil, that is like just the regular basic oil that I had since 2014. But I have the it's a extra strength oil, and it pretty much, I've been able to add different ingredients to it. And like I said, it just comes from talking to professionals, like, okay, well, what can make it a little thicker, what, because I don't want it to be watery and dripping down in people's faces, like
Right.
different characteristics and different ingredients that I wanted to be a part of it. I just and then a lot of people with like alopecia and certain I don't want to call it diseases, but certain things that they have going on with their scalp. they come to me and I'm like, I'll give you the answer that I know, but I'm not the hair professional. Like I talk to hair professionals. But when they come to me, I talk to my people and I'm like, so what can we do to accommodate these people? Because I have a lot of people who come to me with alopecia or they have lupus and have lost their hair due to lupus. So I want to be able, I definitely want to be able to accommodate them. And that's where the extra strength came in. And I just had it on like special order at first. It was on my site. And I was like, okay, I have the regular oil, but if you want the extra strength, just email and I'll go ahead and, get that together for you. And it ended up being more of that being sold than the regular oil. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to switch. So that's why I'm going to take the other oil off and just sell the extra strength because, that's what the people love. Then I have the biotin rich serum. It's more for some people use it for different things, but the purpose of it is like a heat protectant. Like when you do a blowout,
Yeah.
like that little flowy, silky look that you get when you go to the Dominican. So I have that. I put that on my hair like when it's wet and I'm blow drying it. I'll put that on there. Excuse me. It gives me the shine and the flow. But a lot of people, like even people put it on their kids' hair to give it a little bit of shine. I put it on my daughter's hair at times, but it's mainly for blowouts. What else do I have? And mousse. I have the extra hold or the medium hold mousse. That's for the curly girls.
Yes. And I'm a curly girl.
Yes, you are.
So I actually have a cousin who has lupus. You've gotten a lot of good responses with the what is it, the 7-day oil?
Well, the day 7 one had I did get a few responses from that, but it's more for the extra strength one. My it stemmed from a young lady who she lives in Canada. And she ordered the first time and she was like, oh my God, I see a little peach fuzz. And I like to explain to people, even though it's called day 7, right? Don't expect like to have nothing and then have this like in 7 days. That's not what I'm talking about. Like I call it day 7 because that's when I paid close attention to my hair growing in when I lost it. And so I started using that oil and you could see when you lose your hair and you see that little peach fuzz, the excitement that you get is just like unimaginable. So that's why I call it day 7 because that's when I noticed my little peach fuzz. So that's the same thing that happened with the young lady with lupus. She started seeing her little fuzz come in. I was like, isn't it so exciting? So, her hair is filling out. And so she's happy. I'm happy. And that's my favorite part of everything is that I get to, really interact with the clients and they get to tell me their stories. But yes, I love the fact that people with any type of scalp issues, they're able to talk to me and I'm able to get the solution for them. And if I don't have it, I'm honest, I'm upfront and honest. Like I don't know. like this one guy was like, my girlfriend got mad at me and we broke up and she pulled my dreads out in the middle. I'm like, I don't know. I said, you can try, but
yeah.
we can see if that works. I don't know if it was pulled out from the root or what, but I don't know. So yeah, it's I get a lot of stories, but yes.
That sounds like a crazy story.
Yes, I get a lot of them. You would not imagine some of the things I hear, but that was one of the main ones. I was like, I just don't know if I can help you, but I urge you to try.
Maybe you should put out a book about the stories, like just
oh my gosh,
it'll be a bestseller.
And I think it's the fact that I'm so connected to the clients, like, because with bigger brands, you can't talk to the owner of the company, so I just make myself very accessible, and people tell me not to do that a lot, but I have fun with it. I like talking to the clients, so I'm cool with it.
You're a personable person, so I get
it. Yes, exactly.
So did you used to work in the hair industry before?
No, I never did. The only time I worked in the hair industry was when my first job, I worked at the hair salon and I went to hair school, but I never really worked in the hair industry beyond that. I was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like a kind of like a baseline, right?
Yeah. One of my high school friends sent me a picture of me in hair school, and she was like, it was meant to be. I was like, I know.
Everything goes in full circle. Like
Yes.
before I joined the military, you know, my mom's a Marine, and I have a picture like when I was really young. I must have been about 4 or 5, and I guess we went to some air show or something like that, and they had like this radio set up, you know, with the antenna and everything like that. So when I joined the military, I was a radio operator. So I had another picture with me on the phone, just like that picture, but I didn't know anything about the picture until after I joined. And I was like, look at this, full circle, you know?
That's right. That's what you were meant to do.
Exactly. Exactly. So which product is your favorite product? Is it the Day 7?
I mean, actually, no.
No,
It's
what's
not.
yours?
My favorite product, and it's like literally almost sold out, but my favorite product is the lavender mint shampoo and conditioner, but more so the conditioner. Like, it's addictive.
What's addictive about it? Is it just the
Like,
scent? Is it the feeling?
it's both. The scent is it smells like a mint.
Mhm.
Smells like a mint, and when it touches your hair, you know, like opens your pores. Like when you wash and condition it, it opens your pores. So when you go outside, it's like for me, I wash it, I condition it, I put in some oil, and I maybe put in either the mousse, or I have a curl cream too, but I don't really promote. I haven't promoted that too much yet, but I put either one of those in to hold my curls, and it just feels so light. Like it feels like I'm bald. I can't feel anything, and it's just so awesome. And everybody says the same thing, but I tell people don't use it on kids because they're gonna be like, "What's wrong with my head?"
I know, right? Make it stop.
Yes. But that's my absolute favorite. And when I have my hair out, I wet my hair every day. I don't wash it every day, but I at least wet it every day. And so I always like use the conditioner like every day. Like I love it. It smells so good.
And those are called like what, cold washes, when you just do the conditioner wash, right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
I know a little something, honey. Yes.
You silly.
So, as I was doing this research on you, I found out that you wrote a book. I didn't know this, you
Yes,
know. So
I
you wrote
did.
a book, Begin with Belief, the first book in the Unbelievable Woman series.
Yes.
Why are you keeping this a secret, honey? These are things we need to know.
That book was therapy. That book, so I started writing that book so many years ago, and I had told my mother I was writing a book, and she was like, hurry up and write the book. And then my mom passed away.
Oh,
And
I'm
so I
sorry.
was like, I just finished it, and I don't know what the book says. Like I don't know. Everybody's like, you know that part in your book where you said that? I know I said it, but I don't remember it, and I'm just glad it helps you. That's all I can really say. But that book was like, it was really therapy. And it's the Unbreakable Woman series, because that's what I felt like I was, because there was a lot that happened, like a lot of losses. Like my first like real loss was, I don't know if you remember her, but DJ Peaches. She was
Yeah.
at she was at Power 92 with us, and we had gotten really, really like so like bonded, and she was like at my house the morning before, the day before she died. And like I had went out, she went home to Richmond, and I was in Hampton, and I had went out, and my phone was ringing. I had my ringer off, and when I woke up to all these like about 83 missed calls and texts, and it was telling me that, you know, she passed, and they told me that I couldn't even go to see her. I had to go to the health department and all this other stuff because she had bacterial meningitis. And that was my first like real like heart-wrenching loss. But then like very soon after, my nephew was murdered. He was shot 8 times, and he was just a teenager. He was 19. And that right there, that just took the whole family out. That was just our first like family loss, aside from like my grandparents. But that was like our first like family loss, and it was really rough. And it just kept on going from there. Like after that, it was my dad. So these were all like year after year after year. And then like finally it was my mom, and I was just like, okay, like I have to get this together. And all this whole time I'm like living in Atlanta, and I have these great clients, and I'm around celebrities all the time, and people are like, "Oh, Tina, I love you, da, da, da. That must be so cool living there." And I'm like dying inside, like, "Oh my God, like, please don't think that what you see." I post one picture, like for a while I stopped posting anything, but it was like you post one picture and people will think you're famous or that you're rich or all that. And I'm like, no, I'm just living life and I'm trying to get through. Like, I have a lot going on, and it was just really hard. And I had a new baby, and it was really, really rough. And so that book to me was therapy. And I was like, I don't even know how I made it through. So when I called it the Unbreakable Woman series, because I want to do back to back, not back to back books, but multiple books. But Begin with Belief was just the first one, and it was just like, whatever you do, you have to believe in yourself, because everything's going to get like really, really hard. Like, you never know when it's going to hit you, but things are going to get hard, and you have to be able to put God first, and be able to really believe in yourself and in whatever it is that you're doing. So that's what that book was all about to me. And I'm just so thankful that it gets to help people. Like, I talk to a lot of different therapists that I know, or mentors, and they're like, I give it to all my girls. Every time we go through this step, your book is the next step. And then I really want them to talk to you if you can get a chance. And I always take the time to talk to people, because everyone needs it. Everyone needs a kick in the butt sometimes, especially from someone they don't really know. They need they need a boost. So yeah, that's what that book is all about.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. And it's like people, they, especially with social media, they, all the little pictures and this and this, like, "Oh, you have the life." And I'm like, "No, I don't." Like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
always traveling." I'm like, "No, I don't." Like, I might
I don't
travel.
know. You are always traveling,
Oh my
girl.
God. Look, here you go. Here you go. I haven't been anywhere in forever. I mean, most of that is COVID, but
Yeah.
I'm not really going to like these extravagant places. Like, I actually do know people who are like in Dubai and in Japan and all this, and I'm like, I'm in Georgia. Yay.
Yeah.
I drove here, what I'm saying? I'm in DC, like, ooh. I mean, love all those places and love all those things, but it's not like I'm, taking these extravagant trips, at least not all the time.
But they're extravagant to some people. Like, they would be extravagant to me, because I don't go anywhere. Like, I haven't done anything. And I talked to my husband about this, I think last year. Like, when last year, I was so sick when COVID hit. I was like, oh my God, because like that was one of my New Year's resolutions. Like, it was a plane. Did a little vision board, and there was a plane on there. Like, I'm gonna be gone. And I was like, okay, I'm here. But one
Take
of
a trip to the living room.
Right. Everything started. I got to meet Oprah last March. I got to meet Oprah, like one of the best days of my life ever.
Yes. That's a
And
bucket list item right there.
yes, it really was. I was like, I don't think people understand, because like even before that, I don't know if you saw the post that I did on Facebook, but even I think it was 2 years before that, I was like, I'm gonna meet Oprah, and I'm gonna have lunch with Oprah and spend my birthday with Rihanna or something like that. And I got to have brunch with Oprah. And I was like, you really have to really believe in what you're saying. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, believe in it. And so when I got to do it, I was like, oh my God, it's Oprah. And I was like, and I'm gonna keep this going. I'm gonna travel. And I was ready to go. I was so ready to go. And I didn't get to do anything. And I haven't, when I say these places that you're talking about, like DC and wherever, I want to go to all. I mean, I'm from DC, so I don't want to go there.
Right.
But I went to LA for the first time like 2 weeks ago. They're like hidden gems in the United States that I haven't been. So I was like, yeah, I want to go overseas and all that stuff. Yeah, I do. But I also want to travel places here. Like, I want to go to Houston. I want to go to Ohio. I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I want to go to Vegas. I've never been to freaking Vegas. So I want to go. I'm ready to go. I'm going.
You are always working all the time, but self-care is needed, like you need to at least take I firmly believe, and this is just me, I'm nobody, I'm not a specialist in anything. I'm just somebody who's very selfish and I want to go and do what I want to do. But I firmly believe that at least 2 times a year, you have to take time out for yourself, whether it's you and your family or just you by yourself, just to have like a good mental space, like a baseline, and you can recharge.
No, you're right. Absolutely right. And that's what made me get all into the mental health field. Like I was like, for a second, I was like, I'm stuck being a mom. Like I'm raising my kid. Like my daughter's like really smart. She's like, now she's in kindergarten, she's doing first and second grade work. I was like, that's all cool and stuff, but I don't want to be stuck being a mom. Like I want to do other stuff. Like I want to be more than just that. And so even with small pieces of excitement, like traveling with your friends, I want to do that. So I made it my point. I booked my flight to LA. I was like, are y'all coming? And they were like, yeah. We all went. So now they're coming here. Like a bunch of my friends, they haven't been to or hung out in Atlanta, so they're coming here next week. I haven't really hung out in Atlanta, that's sadly, but I'm going out with them, and then we're going to Miami. Like it's just we're just gonna have fun and do fun girl stuff that I haven't done in some years.
Well, when you come to Miami, you're supposed to hit me up. Okay.
Flights to Miami they're like less than $100. So I'm like, what have I been doing? Why haven't I been traveling everywhere? I don't understand.
Well, right now, I think COVID has a lot to do with it too. Like the airlines are trying to convince people to start traveling again. It's like, oh, these $500 flights aren't doing it. Like, let's lower it down to $250.
That's right. They're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, you were talking about how, you manifested you having brunch with Oprah and, what, dinner or breakfast with Rihanna. What was it?
I didn't get to do that yet. It's for my birthday with Rihanna. I didn't get to do that yet. It's coming.
Oh yeah. I believe it's coming. Like from what I see, if you say it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. I'm telling you.
Oh man.
So when you're feeling discouraged, what inspires you to keep moving, to keep it going?
Well, I have a paralyzing fear of just not living. And I don't mean like dying. I mean like not living up to all the potential that I have within me. Like I know that there is so much that I can do. And so when something slows me down, which it does all the time, I just sort of have to lay down, or sometimes first of all, I meditate every day, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, I'm in my closet, I'm downstairs, wherever my kids are not, or wherever I can just have peace, I'm there. And, a lot of people don't like them, but I have my candles, and I have my crystals, and I just talk to God, and I talk to my mom and any angel that I have up there who has my back. And I just, you have to give yourself that good conversation, because no one else, I mean, somebody will, but you can't really depend on other people to keep you going. You have to motivate yourself. And I just, say how I see my life. I say what it is that I want to do. And I can't get stuck on not having it. And I have to appreciate what I do have. And I think that's one of the biggest things that people miss. They sort of think about, oh, I need this amount of money. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to have this. I need to have that. And they just really forget about the love that they have, like especially from whether it's your mom, your dad, your significant other, your kids, or whoever. Like I see people who like have their grandparents and their parents, and they, barely spend time with them or call them. I'm like, do you know what I would give to have my grandparents or my parents? Like, oh my God, like just hang out with your parents, because you're never going to get that love again, that same love that you get from your parents. So it's just appreciating what I have. And that's kind of what keeps me moving and keeps me progressive. It keeps me grounded, as far as knowing what I've accomplished and knowing who I accomplished it for, and how it makes them smile. As far as my kids are concerned, they can do anything they want to do. they, back in the day, I couldn't do certain things because I knew that we couldn't afford it. But, I try to tell my kids, like, y'all are like super blessed. Y'all can do pretty much anything you guys want to do. I don't let them do everything, but they could. And just being able to give them that opportunity, being able to keep a smile on my kids' faces and show them that type of love, not just materialistic love, but love.
Right.
It's the best. It's just the best. And so when you keep yourself happy and you keep moving forward, you're able to give people that little piece of you that they need. But when you're unhappy and you're not getting anything done and life isn't going in the direction that you want it to go, you're getting depressed and all that, and you're focusing on the wrong things, it's going to continue to bring you down because you're that's all you're thinking about is how bad it is. It's not going to last forever. It
Right.
has to change. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to be adaptable to that change.
Yep.
And I know that's definitely a hard thing to do. I mean, even yourself, when you said, you gave your job 2 months notice because, just that change of that security blanket, that net.
It wasn't even a security. Let me see. I gotta break this down to you, girl.
Yeah, break it down.
This job, it's great from the outside looking in. What I was doing was awesome, dream come true, and all that. Yeah, it was definitely cool, but I don't think that it was necessarily security. And I say that because there were no health benefits. I have to pay for health insurance out of my pocket. There's not a guarantee of money every month. It just depends on if these clients, because our rate was $2,500 a month. So realistically, a lot of people are not going to pay $2,500 a month, but that's what our rate was, and we have to split that between the three of us. And so we always, well, not really, it was pretty much between the two of us, but it's keeping those clients happy. Like, luckily for us, we were able to retain clients, some of them for like 2 or 3 years, but everybody isn't like that in this industry. Like, they'll have a client for 2 months and then they're stressing out trying to figure out how to get some more clients. But it was just a blessing. It was a blessing, but sometimes your blessings was super great and sometimes they were a little bit small. But
Yeah.
so you could have like $7,000 a month, or you could have a $1,000 a month, but you just got to be smart about your $7,000 a month. But the good thing for me was that I have a husband. So
Yeah.
so he's always had my back. And even when I said, okay, I'm a little nervous, that's where I say it's not necessarily security, but kind of, I was like, I'm a little nervous. I do have, even if I had like all $1,000 months, I would still have that 1,000.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm even all of it. I was like, husband, are you going to be okay? But when we first moved here, it was on everything was on me. Like, I had so much money saved, it was ridiculous, because I knew I was moving to Atlanta, and he didn't know. We had pretty much just met a few months before I moved, and I was like, "You're coming with me," and he came, but he was like, "I don't have anything." I was like, "You're good." So he came and got his career going, and it took him about 2.5 years, and I held it down for him then. And so it's like his turn. So he's like, you don't worry about anything, just do what you got to do and everything will be all good. And I did. So it was a complete blessing, all of it, everything.
And seeing that's a power couple, to be like, when one is down, the other one kind of lifts it up, like that little balancing structure. And it's great when
Right.
both of you are up, I mean, that's just more blessings on top,
Yes.
Oh, it's going to happen, honey. It's going to happen. And I see it happening already,
Yeah,
because again,
we're
these are a lot of titles.
yes, yes. We're blessed to be in such a great position. Like I said, I just hope these kids recognize the work and and the struggle it took. I don't know if they're gonna remember everything that went on and what we went through, but whew, it's good now. We're in a great place. I'm super thankful.
Mhm. That's good. Well, I mean, maybe just remind them a little bit, like,
Listen,
yeah.
I got a 13-year-old and I'm
Mhm.
just like, you need to get a job. Leave me alone. And
Mhm.
then I got a 6-year-old asking for Robux for that Roblox game. I'm just like, listen, I don't know where y'all think y'all's money's coming from, but leave me alone. No.
Right. You got to work for it, honey.
Yes,
You
yes,
know?
definitely feeling that in them.
That's good. I firmly believe in that too. Like sometimes parents, they just from what I see, because I don't have any kids, but just from what I see, parents, they always want to give their kids what they didn't have, the
Yeah.
opportunities that they didn't have, which means they're not doing the same things that we used to do, like the chores, going out there mowing the lawn to make money,
Girl.
the
Mm.
lemonade stands.
Mine is doing it. See, I'm not
That's
having
good.
all of that. No, you got to wash your own clothes. You got to take out the trash. You got to cut the grass, all of that.
Right.
Yes, I have to insist that because I hate when I have to tell him this. Like, I'm not going to be here forever. So
Right.
you got to learn this. But I hate when I have to tell him that. I hate the words even coming out of my mouth, but sometimes you got to break it down to them and let them know, like, listen, this is stuff you have to learn. You have to know this for life.
True, yes, because if you don't, you kind of set them up for failure later on, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Like my mom did all that with me, and in the end, I told her, I said, you know what, you made this adult stuff look a little too easy, so I'm doing okay, but I feel like I could have done better. Like,
God. Oh God. Yes. If we only knew. Oh
if
my
we
gosh.
only knew.
Remember we were in a rush to move out, like
Yes.
on our own. If I would have, oh God, I would have just stayed. Like
Yeah, right. 18. I was like, I'm out, honey. Love you. Bye.
uh-uh.
I mean, yeah, I had to move back in twice because, life, but I was still ready to go even then. Like, okay, 3 months, I'm out.
Listen,
One year, I'm out.
I'm like, listen, if I could my husband's parents are still alive, right? And I'm like, can y'all just move to Georgia and we just get a big house, please? Like
In
I'm
other
tired of
cultures,
this.
they do it,
They do. Nobody is feeling me.
I feel you. I feel you. Like if we could just get in a state, where this is my part of the house and that's your part of the house. And
Right.
we meet in the middle every so often, not every
That's
day,
what I'm
but every
saying.
so often, like I'm good for that.
And look, I'm never cooking. Somebody else is always cooking. So let's just get that established right now. Right?
I know that's right. So, you said that for your book, you want it to be a series. What's the second series? What's the second book? Have you thought of it yet?
I did think of it.
Mm,
I wrote it.
mhm.
I almost put it out and I took it back.
Why?
It's called Master Your Mental.
Mhm.
Um when I don't feel something, I just can't. I don't know. It's just something about it. I was like, it's not the right timing for me. Like it, I didn't want to promote it. Like it was just so much. Like I was thinking, I was writing that. I was in the process of writing that, and I felt like I rushed it. I was like, I haven't even looked back over it. I don't know if it flows. Like I just wanted to make sense to people, and I couldn't really get into it. And I said I have to put it on hold and come back to it. Like I did a lot of stuff around it. Like I did what was it? Was it Fox TV? It was some news station that I was doing, and I would come on and give a little mental health tip or whatever. I was doing that remotely, of course, because we were in the middle of COVID. But I was just like, I'm not feeling it. Like I don't feel it at all. And then soon after, I just launched my hair care product line, and I just haven't looked back at it yet. But yeah, if I don't feel it, I can't put it out to the public. I can't put it out to the world if it's not something that's like really deeply in my spirit.
No, I completely understand that. So, but what was it supposed to be about? I mean, I know you said it's mental health, right?
Yeah.
So, but like what exactly with mental health?
So it's called Master Your Mental, and what it was pretty much, it wasn't the typical mastering your manifestation. There were things about manifestation in there, but it was more about maybe the steps that you can take if you're having certain types of issues, and when you're dealing with certain types of things. Because I think a lot of us, we don't talk about the toll that parenting has on us, or we don't talk about the toll that relationships or the lack thereof has on us. So it's sort of like, how do you mentally get out of a place where you're not happy? What steps do you take? And it was from the perspective of someone who's been through it, and it was also from someone who's not a medical professional. And I always let people know that, like, this is like personal experience that I talk about, and this is from people who I know who have been through certain things or who are going through certain things. And I talk to them, I pick their brain, and I just see where they are in life. And I try my best to get them through. And I let people know, like, I'm not a doctor, but I'm a good listener,
Mhm.
and I have pretty good advice sometimes. But it's just different subjects, like even with children. Yes, I talk about being a parent. I talk about how hard it is being a parent from all different perspectives. Like, you can't do the same things. You can't, like, when people talk about not being able to dress the same way they dressed before, or um how it is when you're raising them from little, and they get to be a teenager, and you're scared to let them out because, like, oh God, but how they're, because, like, my son went to his dad's house, and apparently he was like a different person. And so I'm like, oh God, like, how is he going to be in the world? Like, what
Mhm.
does he act like? And I hope he never, like, gets into any trouble, because how will I handle it? Like, it's a lot of scary things. But then on the other side of parenting, it's like, I have friends, they don't have children yet, and I think that some of it is that they can't. Like, for one of them, I've been going through the process with her of her getting, tested, and having tube issues, and endometriosis, and things of that nature. But before that, she never told me about any of that. But I sort of just kept on, like, not asking, when are you going to have children, but just like, all right, is everything okay? Like, I mean, are you good, whatever. And it's just like, dealing with those types of things on your own, it takes like a mental toll on you. So it's sort of like a book of a book with a safe space in it. Like, this is a safe place. Like, read this book, jot down your thoughts, and just get your feelings out, because there are other people who are going through it. So yeah, it's just different situations that have an effect on your mental, and how you master it.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I know right now is a serious like mental health thing for a lot of people in different states, because I know like Florida is pretty much open, but a lot of other states are not. And some people are still working from home. Either the only people they're seeing are the family in the house, or
Yeah.
nobody at all because they don't have family in the house.
Right.
So it's been a mental toll all year for a lot of people,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
absolutely. Because people don't think about how people are lonely too. Like,
Mm.
you're there, you're all alone. It's like, some people don't have pets, some people don't have boyfriends or whatever. They're just
I feel like you're
there.
talking about me right now.
No, I'm just, no, no. I wasn't talking about you.
Like,
No,
what else about Q? She doesn't have this, she doesn't have that.
no, but for real, a journalist that I know, she said that, she was like, I just want people to think about the ones who don't have people, they don't have pets or anything. All they have is, like, pretty much Netflix. And if you don't have Netflix, then, you
Kind of
just,
SOL, right?
yeah, you're by yourself with your thoughts. And so I'm like, you think about that stuff, like, damn, what if I didn't have this, or what if I didn't have that? Like, it's hard. It's hard. Like, my one of my best friends, well, two of my best friends, they're single. They're single, and one of them is here with me. She lives in Marietta. She's about almost an hour away from me, and she's single, and she doesn't have any kids. Just, it's just her. And I always tell her to come over, because I know that being by yourself is hard. Sometimes I don't like being by myself, and I'm only by myself for a few hours at a time or a few days at a time. So I'm like, I'm used to having someone around. So I know how that can be. So yeah, it's little stuff like that that can be so draining on your mental. And even with coronavirus and kids in your face having to stay at home, like, oh gosh. I mean, for me, I had already started homeschooling before the virus hit, so I was like sort of in that zone anyway. But having to do it, it's a difference between like you like preparing yourself to do it. Okay, this is what I want to do with my kids or whatever. But when someone tells you, okay, you have to do this, I'm like, well, no, I just want this to be temporary.
Right.
So yeah, it's hard. And I was already doing the homeschooling with my son, but my daughter had just started her first year of school. And so she was just getting used to it. And it's like we had to pull her right out. So she was like, I want to go back. So I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. So
Yeah,
I
and I
don't know.
know it's probably hardest for kids, like
Mm,
that
yep.
they need that social interaction, that social development, because I feel like with social media, with these video games, they're kind of getting disconnected with social actions.
I'm definitely having that issue right now. Like with my 13-year-old, he's like, um, so he's not in school. So, I have him in boxing. So he, talks to people there or whatever. But before that, he was like, I need to do this. I need to go somewhere. I don't get to talk to people. And so and this is like when he was in trouble and I didn't let him have his phone. So he didn't have like Instagram or his video game chat or whatever it is that he does.
Mhm.
And so like, they're okay. That's where the line comes in. It's like you feel like, okay, I feel better because I get to let him have his video chat and his video games or whatever. But is he addicted to it? So it's kind of like a fine line. Like, gosh, I don't want him to go crazy because he can't talk to people. But then again, I don't want him to go crazy because he's addicted to a video game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's this parenting is just not it for me.
It's a little late for that now, Tina.
Look, I'm 13 years in. I don't know if this is the for me.
And you said, well, you have 3 kids, right?
I have 3 kids. Well,
Yeah,
I've birthed 3 kids. I have 4 kids. I have a 14-year-old as well. He's my stepson. So there's that.
yeah. So you have a long way to go, Tina. I'm sorry.
One.
Blame Mr. Fobbs for that. Mr. Fobbs loved you long time and you ended up popping out some more. Blame him for
Well,
all
there
that.
will be no more after this. Let me tell you that. No more.
Okay, we'll see.
No,
we'll see.
I
see the love in his eyes, Tina. I see the love in his eyes.
He can have all the loved ones. I got my tubes removed. There's 0 chance of pregnancy.
Okay, well then there's that.
See, I saw the love too. I had to take action.
It's like I see where this is going,
Yes.
Took me 3 times to learn, but I see where this is going and I'm gonna stop it right here.
That's right.
So you used to be a publicist, working in public relations, so what would you recommend for people to get out of their comfort zones when it comes to getting into the entrepreneurial spirit? Because I know I have an issue with that too.
Well, the best thing that I could say to do is to just do it. I think a lot of people focus on perfection. It's never ever going to be perfect. I think that people should make it it's never going to be perfect. I think that you should just make it presentable. Like and when I say presentable, if you look at my brand, if you look at my website, if you look at my bottles or whatever, that it's not a perfect brand, but it's when I send it to journalists in different media outlets, they know it's professional. And that's what you want people to see. Like, the work that you put in to make your brand look professional. Like you didn't write on your bottles with magic marker or something like that. You took the time to pick something, and it doesn't have to be expensive. That's where people go wrong. Like you don't have to spend all your money. All you have to do is research and make your thing as professional as possible, so that when you present your stuff to the media and you say, hey, I want you to try out my brand, can I send you, what's your PO box or whatever, they're more inclined to say yes. And then they're more inclined to use it. And then they're more inclined to write a story about it. And voila, you have other customers because your stuff has been posted on an outlet and you may not even known about it yet. And it was a great surprise to wake up to or something. Mm-hmm. But it's just the little things. It's like you can't just be like, oh, I need my brand to be like, what's her name? What's the girl's name? Kardashian girl.
I want Kardashian. Kylie.
Yeah, I want my brand to be like hers. Like you can't do that to yourself. Like you're gonna kill yourself trying to make your brand like $1 billion brand. You can't do that. I would say just put it out there. I mean, then this is if it's a product, that of course that's what I'm talking about. But for other things, I would say like you just have to step out on faith. I would say have a clear understanding of what you want to do or where you want to be over the next like 6 months to a year. And you don't have to have a full business plan, although some people would suggest you write a full business plan. I've never written a business plan in my life, but some people do say that. I just say like just write out where it is that you want to be, where you want to see yourself, how much money do you want to make if it's something that you're trying to make money from, and make those small steps. So you have your big steps, but you have to make the small steps in order to get to that one big step. So if you have your four large steps, if you want to make $100,000 or something like that, there are going to be little steps that you have to take to get there. First, you have to freaking know, like, how much do I have to, if you want to make $100,000 a year, you would have to know, you have to write down how much you have to make each week or each day to make it to 100,000 in a year. So if you don't know that, you won't be able to reach your goal because you don't even know what you're asking yourself to do. Like you don't know how many people you'll need to reach out to. Right. If you don't know that, then you're never going to make it to a goal, and then you're going to be beating yourself up that you didn't make it to a goal when you didn't really set one. You didn't actually set one because you didn't make the small steps. All you did was write down the big goal. All you did was say, I want to be a millionaire, but you don't know what it takes to be a millionaire. So yeah, just set your goals is your main thing. You got to set your goals and then actually take the steps to accomplish them.
Great advice. All right. Thank you, Tina, for joining us in this game we call L.Y.F, L-Y-F, Love Yourself First. Miss Tina Fobbs, who has her hair care line, PHyre, PHyre. And also check out her book, which is available in Amazon, right?
That's correct.
Amazon, Begin with Belief, the first book in the Unbelievable Woman series.
That's right.
Do you have any social medias that you want to promote, or your website?
My social media is Tina Said So. That's my Instagram. Tina Said So. That's where you can find me. That's the only place I really am besides Facebook, but I'm not
never
really
on Facebook
like that. So Tina Said So.
And a website for your hair care products where they can get your hair.
PHyrehair.com. PHYRE.
Okay, awesome. All right, Miss Tina, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.